Hello friends and welcome back to my channel, Blue Nose Trading. My name is Tori Solis and today I'm going to be working with a new clay body, Cinco Rojo by Armadillo Clay out of Austin, Texas. This is a deep red-brown stoneware clay that has a little bit of sand added for strength and texture. This clay is versatile and is great for both throwing and hand building. The shrinkage is listed at 12.88% with 1% absorption at cone 5. There is a warning from Armadillo Clay that you may experience bloating if you try to fire this clay hotter than cone 5. Despite the sand, this clay is not too rough to work with. It's not porcelain of course, but I have thrown with much grittier clay bodies that are way harder on your hands. If anything, I appreciate the sand addition in this clay as it really does add to the strength and texture of the body. This clay settles quickly in your throwing water, which is a plus. Sometimes clays can stay suspended and make a slippy mess, but this one settles out nicely. It's nice to not have to change out my throwing water every 10 pots. This clay dries quickly and evenly. I honestly think that is in part because of the sand. Dense clay bodies that don't have any sand or grit in them tend to dry much slower and need to be babied much more than this durable red stoneware. Another effect of the sand is the texture when you're trimming. The sand catches on the tool and creates a surface that's rougher than the untrimmed areas. When this happens, there are two, well maybe more, but I'm only going to talk about two options for handling the texture. The first option is to trim lightly up the entire pot so the rough texture matches all the way up the pot. The second option is to use a soft rubber rib like this one from Mud Tools to smooth over the roughed up parts. I guess you could technically do nothing, but I would say that a lot of people will think that is a pretty lazy take. This body seems to handle most glazes well. This is typically the red stoneware I use in my glaze test videos here on the channel. I test a lot of different commercial glazes across various types of clay bodies. I'll link to that playlist here for anyone who might be interested. I love making these videos for y'all, and I appreciate the support of my channel subscribers, patrons, and sponsors who help make this channel possible. If you'd like to become a patron of my work, you can join as a member right here on YouTube for early video access. If you're into collecting pottery, you can find all of my current available work on my website, bluenosetrading.com. A big thank you to everyone who supports my work and my channel. Hot and fresh out of the kiln, these are some pretty rad pieces. Turquoise glossy glazes seem to love this clay. I have, I think, 6 different turquoise teal gloss glazes in my studio and maybe 4 different mattes. Some are handmade and some are commercial mixes, and I can't think of one that does not work well on this clay body. Fired, the clay body is true to its word, a deep red brown. This has a nice texture and the color is fine, but it would be a lie to say that in my own personal aesthetic pursuit of a red stoneware, I want something brighter and a bit more red-orange than red-brown. As it is, I don't really use red stoneware too often in my work, so these are something of a limited edition, if you will. I did, however, especially enjoy how my slip-painted bonsai tree mugs look on this clay body. The rich red-brown is a nice backdrop color for these trees and pots. I might consider making more of these at some point in the future. Regardless of my feelings about the exact color of this clay, it feels wonderful in your hands. The texture and surface are sturdy and feel great. The surface is textured, but it's not scratchy or overly gritty. You wouldn't necessarily need to sand any of the unglazed parts of this work. Matte glazes also do well on this clay body in general. I did not experience any blistering or other general glaze flaws from my matte glazes. Of course, you should always test your own glazes before you make any huge commitments. It's just good practice in general to test your own glazes in your own kiln. Fire exactly as you normally would and see what happens. Most of these are sold by now, but you can always check out my website, bluenosetrading.com, to see what is currently available. You never know what you might find up there on any given day. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed learning a little about my experience using Cinco Rojo from Armadillo Clay out of Austin, Texas. This is a great clay body to work with, and the finished work has a great feel in your hands. If you would like to help support my channel so I can get more clay bodies and glazes to test for you, consider subscribing on YouTube or becoming a patron of my work at patreon.com/bluenosetrading. Remember that you have great ideas that are worth exploring, drink lots of water, and I will see y'all next week.